I got some drink or something.
You want to try something?
I want none of the juice. That jelly juice. You know that. Drink jelly juice. Okay. No. Absolutely not. Ain't nothing else enough. There's some waters inside of the cooler. Yeah, rinse it out from me. I knew it from Birmingham. All right. Shalom, Israel. We the I.S.U.P.K. start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General YAHANNA. The I.S.U.P.K. is not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. None, nada, zero, zilch. I'm Austin Aquam of the Nadville School. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar. Alatah Ba'Shem Yahushua to my sisters. And we got a good class. We're going to talk about adultery today. It's a good topic because a lot of our people don't know what adultery is. I've talked to people this week that was telling me, you know, that adultery is you going and being married and going and sleeping with somebody else while you're married. And that's just not, the truth of the matter. All right, so we're going to find out what adultery is in the scriptures, what the Most High say about adultery, and how, where it come from that where did your teaching of adultery, where did it originate at? Because a lot of our people don't really know what adultery is, and so we're gonna clear that up today, because the Christian church teaches our people that adultery is just you sleeping with somebody else while you're married, or something that they call wedlock. Wedlock is not in the Bible nowhere. All right, it's not I don't even know what the hell it is, tell the truth, but it ain't in the Bible. All right, so get that out your head. But the Christian church teaches us a lot of false narratives that are not found inside of the scriptures, and it's basically, it has a lot to do with what society says. Things are, the society and the Christian church are damn near parallel. It's not too much of a difference outside of being in the church and being in the world. It's damn near the same. But one just has an appearance of being righteous. The Christian church just has an appearance of being righteous. It's not righteous. It has an appearance of being righteous. So people who don't know no better would think that you going sitting inside a church will make you righteous, or you going sitting inside of church and listen to a pastor preach for 10 minutes and hoop and holler, for for 2 hours, you know, to the time for the collection plate to come out, people would think that that's, you know, being righteous, but it's not. All right. So we're gonna break all of the lies. That's what we do in the I.S.U.P.K. We destroy the lies that we've been taught, you know, over the years about, you know, everything, you know, because everything we've been taught, you know, it stems from, you know, out of that Christian church. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna break these lies today. Y'all got any questions about anything before we get started? I'll give y'all a couple minutes. If y'all got any questions, you got any questions in the chat, you also can type them in the chat and I'll answer your questions, you know, as we go along, if you have any questions. All right, give a couple more seconds to type. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sir.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering what this law means.
Okay.
Leviticus chapter 19 and 16.
I was just talking about this today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yesterday. Leviticus chapter 19 and 16. Hold on, let me pull it. All right. How you want to read that for?
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. All came up with got it. Verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Okay. Keep reading.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
All right. So what do you want to know?
So I wanted to know the correct thing of a talebearer and how what's in my head of what a talebearer.
What you think it is?
So a talebearer is there a person that tells lies and just go back like gossiping and telling stories and stuff like rumor spreaders?
Right.
Is that what a talebearer is?
A talebearer is like you talking out of somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? You talking spreading rumors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what a talebearer is.
Okay.
So it's just basically you know, talking too damn much. You know what I'm saying? And gossiping and stuff like that.
So I want to, you know, okay.
Yeah, that's talebearer.
So
and this is a law also.
Right.
All right.
So what is this? Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I don't.
Okay, so if, like, say for instance, if your neighbor committed some kind of crime or something, right? And you are showing a respect of persons towards your neighbor. All right. You want to, you know, be like basically lying about what they did. Yeah. Okay. And you standing in between them getting judged. You do what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's what that means. Go up one verse. Go up one verse.
Verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty.
Right. But
in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Right. So you don't want to stand in between them getting judged. Right. You know what I'm saying? When it's time for they done messed up and you in between them getting the judgment they're supposed to get by, you know, trying to save them. You know what I'm saying? Was there anything else?
That was it.
That was it. All right. So let's get into the class. Give me Exodus 20 and 14. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 14. All right, so this is where what you call the so-called 10 Commandments, right? So inside of the 10 Commandments, you'll see they have different commandments in there. All right, so we're going to read one of the commandments that's in there. All right.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 14. Verse 14. You shall not commit adultery.
That's real simple. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's real simple. You shall not commit adultery. This is big. All right. Adultery. And we're going to go into what the definition of adultery is. All right. So this is in your so-called 10 Commandments. But this is a big, big deal to the Most High. Because this has everything to do with what? Has everything to do with what? So you shall not commit adultery. This has everything to do with what? Go ahead, sir.
Being a brother and sister.
Being a brother and sister. All right. Brotherhood and sisterhood. This has everything to do with that. So if you are committing adultery, then you are not being a brother to your brother or a sister to your sister. All right. And this is something that can't be done in Israel. And that's why the Most High was so, hard on us, and why he even made it, in what you would call the 10 Commandments, because he understood the ramifications, behind you sleeping with another man's woman. You know what I'm saying? He knew that, there's a lot of death and destruction can come behind you doing such an act, such a horrendous act, an unbrotherly act. You do what I'm saying? So this is real to the Most High, that he don't want us doing this one particular thing. He don't want to do a lot of things, but this is one of the things that he really is against. And it's all throughout the scriptures. You do what I'm saying? Talking about how the Most High is against it. All right, read it one more time.
Verse 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yeah, don't commit adultery. Drop that. Go to Leviticus 20 and 10. Leviticus 20, chapter 10 verse.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10. Verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
So this is what adultery is. This is the definition of adultery inside of the scriptures. All right. This is the law. Everything that Christ taught, it came out of the law. Everything that the disciples taught came out of the law. Everything that the prophets taught came out of the law. All right. So this is what the law says about adultery. It actually gives you a definition of what adultery actually is in the law. All right, read it one more time.
Verse 9, verse 10.
Who was at the school? That was the school. Yeah, I seen on my phone. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
So the law says that a man who commits adultery with another man's wife and the woman who commits adultery against her husband, both of them should be put to death. It's the law. That's how big adultery is in the eyes of the Most High. That you're supposed to die behind it. You know what I'm saying? In the days of, of Israel, we had our own land and places like that. We were supposed to die if we committed adultery. There were people who died because of adultery. And you know how we just do it so freely now. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal now to do it. You do what I'm saying? We just, they make rap songs about adultery. Every damn R&B song that you hear now is about adultery. It ain't about love and loving your own, woman, loving your own man. It's about loving somebody else's woman and somebody else's man. That's what songs is about nowadays. R&B songs, rap songs. It's a big thing to go and take another man's woman. That's what a rap song will take. All rappers think that it's a big thing to go have sex with another man's woman and take her back home to that man. What they're teaching you is how to be unbrotherly. What they're teaching you is how to be unsisterly and making it normal. They done made it normal to be unbrotherly and unsisterly. What's that man name? He made a song back in the day about I wish you didn't trust me so much. What's his name, man? What's his name? I wish you didn't trust me so much. He's a singer back in the day, big singer too, man. He sang 125th Street. Damn, I can't think of his name. Go back in the day. But this nigga right here, he was one of the most wickedest niggas in the world. All right. He made a song called I Wish You Didn't. Bobby Womack. He made a song called I Wish You Didn't Trust Me So Much. The whole song was about how his best friend would leave his woman around him. And he would just go, couldn't wait. He couldn't contain himself. All he wanted to do was have sex with his partner woman. He'll go over there, and the brother trusted him because that's his homie. You know what I'm saying? That's his partner. But he wished that his partner didn't trust him so much because he was a low down, dirty snake. And all he wanted to do was have sex. And this is a real life. This is something that happened in real life also. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Womack actually did this. This is a true song that he made. You know what I'm saying? He actually did this. And, there's a lot of brothers, man, who are just sneaking and conniving. And all they do is think about ways, it's just, you can't trust them. Even though that's your best friend, your homie. You can't trust them with your woman. You know what I'm saying? And they've made it the norm. So, really, you should just expect it to happen. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? You should just expect it to happen. If your homeboy around your woman, if you ain't in the U.P.K, they probably having sex. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that God is against. I'm talking about so much that he told him that if it happens, man, put them to death. Put both of them to death. And all throughout the scriptures, you see, our women and our men being put to death behind adultery just because they couldn't contain themselves. They couldn't, be disciplined enough to, watch, to get their own woman or get their own man, and stay with that person. Read it one more time.
Verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
So this is adultery. When you have sex with another man's wife, all right? That means that the woman that you had sex with, she belonged to another man. All right? That's adultery. Keep reading.
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife,
the
adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Yeah. So if you have sex with another man's wife, that's adultery. All right. So if you have sex with a single woman, what is that called? So if we know that if you have sex with another man's woman, then that's adultery. But if you have sex with a single woman, what is that called? Go ahead, brother.
Marriage.
Called marriage. Get a brother a hand. All right. You just got you a new wife. That's what just happened. If you having sex with a single woman, just got you a new wife. All right. But America is so just, hideous and disgusting, that women will be having sex with 1,000 men and don't claim none of them. You got to have a ring. you know, to the women now that you give them a ring, that's when they marry. Y'all go have a marriage ceremony, you get a ring, you know, bow down to her, you know what I'm saying, all this old stuff. Then that's when you marry. Then, you know, that's her considering, you know, that she belongs to you. When in the scriptures, it clearly say, you know, if you're having sex with a woman, then, you know, that's your woman. All right. So sex is not you just being married and going having sex. Because if you have a wife, right? And then you go have sex with a woman who's not married, that means that you just gained you another wife. That's what the scriptures say. All right. That's a hard pill to swallow for sisters. You know what I'm saying? Who don't want to accept that, but that's the truth of the matter. And there's some wicked brothers out here who don't let sisters know, who sisters, you know, especially brothers who, you know, there's some wicked Hebrews out here also who will go and trap a woman, you know what I'm saying, with the scriptures. What I mean by trapping a woman with the scriptures, I mean that he'll go have sex with a woman and then tell a woman, okay, now you're my woman, you're my wife. You do know that, don't you? She be like, no, I don't know that. Then they put out the scriptures showing, you know what I'm saying, what the scriptures say about sex is marriage. So now they're going to trap this woman, you know, and 9 times out of 10, she's not going to honor it. She's finna go have sex with somebody else. And, you know what I'm saying, that's, you know, that's one less, you know, wife that you got. Somebody else. That's somebody else's woman now. All right. But the scripture said, read it one more time.
Verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Shall surely be put to death, man. And that's what happens, you know, and that's what you get. You know, a lot of us deserve to be put to death for a lot of stuff that we done. You know, so when you come into the truth, the knowledge of the truth, and you start to understand these things that, you know, the Lord is showing us, you know, and you go out and you still doing those same things. You starting to have sex with another man's wife. That man catch you and put you to, and shoot you in your face. You deserve it. You just, you know, he just doing what the scripture said do. You know what I'm saying? He putting you to death for sleeping with his woman. You know, they got jealousy laws inside of the scriptures. You know, so you get put to death, man. It's on you. All right. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. Proverbs 6 and 23. And y'all share these classes. Share these classes because these classes might save somebody's life. You know, that you have. Share the classes to your all social media outlets. Share them to your friends. Tell them to your groups. You know, share the class as far as they can go. Because like I said, they could possibly save a brother's life. All right? Or a sister. Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. Y'all come up, got it. Verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
All right, so the commandments is life. Read it one more time. Sorry.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. And that's the way of life, to be reproved in the, you know what I'm saying, of your actions. All right, you learn the commandments, and that's the lifestyle that you live is off of the commandments. All right. So when you're being reproved about, you know, what you should do, you know, you should listen to it. If you're being reproved, that means being corrected. So if you're being corrected about things that that, you know, you didn't know about, you know, and now you know, so now you have to live in that correction. All right, keep reading. And it's like verse 24. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. All
right, so the law is there, and these laws are your wisdom, you know, and if you live in these laws, then they'll protect you from, you know, yourself. They'll protect you from all of the lust that you have. You know, when you know that you're gonna get put to death for sleeping with another woman, you know what I'm saying? That makes you not want to do it. You know, and that's what these laws are for. Read that part one more time, verse 24.
Verse 24. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
Right. Keep reading.
Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
So now it's talking about how to keep yourself from the flattery of a beautiful woman. All right. It's telling you to lust not after her beauty in thine heart. Keep reading.
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
And don't let her take you with her eyelids. You know, we have some beautiful women in Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? There's some beautiful women. But you have to, what the scriptures is telling you is that you have to have some kind of discipline. You have to have self-control, you know, when it comes to dealing with these women. Because the women trip you up, man, they could actually be a stumbling block for you. You know what I'm saying? When you have, you know, and it's for the brothers. When you having, you know, you look at that big butt and a smile, man, and that can get you. You do what I'm saying? It done got many of men. You know what I'm saying? I get it. It done got me before. You know what I'm saying? But it's a way, you know, that now that you can have discipline once you learn the law, you know what I'm saying, and how the spirit of the law, you know, and how unbrotherly it is to have somebody else's woman, then, you know, she can bat her eyes at you all day and it won't even affect you. You do what I'm saying? Because you already see which way, you know, that she's trying to bring you. All right, keep reading.
Verse 26. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
All right, so what does adultery and a whorish woman have in common? Go ahead, sis.
Because a whorish woman would be the woman who want to sleep with somebody who's not her husband.
Get a sister hand. That's exactly what it got in common. Because only a whorish woman would want to sleep with another man that's not her husband. She said it perfectly. Only a whorish woman would want to do that. So we're trying to, what the scriptures is doing is telling you how to avoid this whorish woman. Even though she look good, smell good. You know, when you get some drinks in, she look like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's still not your woman. She's a whore. And you can protect yourself from whores by simply following the law and staying brotherly with your brother. Keep reading.
So,
read it one more time.
And in verse 26, for by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
And the adulterous woman will hunt for a precious life. That's what an adulteress is. A woman who commits adultery. It's an adulteress. All right, she hunts for precious life. She out here looking for somebody to be killed by the Most High. Basically. You know what I'm saying? If I can put it in layman's terms. She's looking for somebody to die with her. Because the law says what? Go ahead, brother.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right? But what else the law say? Go ahead.
That both the adulterer and the adulteress
should be put to death. Get a brother hand. All right. So both of y'all gonna get put to death. So what adulteress is out here looking for is somebody to be put to death with her. That's what she out here looking for. Somebody to get. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna bring you down to bread and get you murked out here by the Most High. You know what I'm saying? All right, keep reading.
Verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned?
The scripture said, can a man get fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burnt? You know what I'm saying? When you take this woman in your bosom, expect to be burnt. You do what I'm saying? When you take somebody else's woman and, you know, hold her near, expect her to be on fire. It's equivalent to being, you know, the burnt is being, that's the punishment of having fire in your bosom. You know what I'm saying? That's the consequence. You getting burnt is the consequence of you having fire inside of your bosom. All right, keep reading.
So, verse 28. Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned?
Your feet being burned is the result of you walking on hot coals. All right. So there's punishments by the actions that you do. You dig what I'm saying? That's what the scriptures is telling you, that there is punishments that's gonna, there's consequences to the actions that you are doing. You can't expect, not to be put to death when you sleeping with somebody else's woman. That's a consequence of you sleeping with another man's woman. You being put to death. Keep reading.
So he that goeth, it's like in verse 29. So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall be innocent. Shall
not be innocent. You ain't gonna be innocent when you go inside of her. When you sleeping with another man's woman, you are guilty of that sin. That's your neighbor. That's your brother, man. You can't expect your brother to have mercy on you when you sleep. You got his wife in all kind of different positions and doing the things, unseemly to his woman, man. You can't expect him to have no mercy on you. You can expect the consequences to happen because of the things that you've done to his woman. And also the things that you have done to him. Because that's, you sin against the Most High, you sin against that man, and you causing the woman to sin also. Because even if she was trying to sin, if you don't have sex with her, she can't sin. Right. Even if she wanted to sin. You do what I'm saying? So it's up to you to, and that's why the law is so important. That's why it's so important to follow the law. Like the scripture said, the law is a lamp. It's telling you which way you should go. It's giving you the light on the path that you should take. So if an adulterous woman is on the right side and you doing the right thing is on the left side, you should follow which way, the path that the law says to go on, not to go on towards the adulterous one. Keep reading.
Verse 29. It's like verse 30. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Mm-hmm. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house.
And that's what when you get caught, when you get caught in adultery, I mean, that, like I said, there's consequences to it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to pay up the consequence, for the sin that you committed. Whatever it might be. It might be your life. It might be something else. But you're gonna have to pay. Keep reading.
But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that does it destroyeth his own soul.
And he that does adultery, man, you destroy your own soul. You know what I'm saying? You lack of understanding, because what you're doing is there's no limit to what you would do to your brother. That's what the scriptures is talking about. There's also a scripture say that he that hate his brother is a murderer. It's the same spirit behind it. Same spirit. Because there's no limit to what you would do to your brother if you sleep with his woman. I mean, you would do anything against him. Perfect example. King David. King David wanted that woman so bad that he put her husband on the front line of a war. He like a general. He like his best general. Generals ain't supposed to be on the front line. He put him on the front line so he can get killed. So he can have his woman. There ain't no limits to what you would do when you commit an adultery. You commit adultery, you'll do anything to that man. And that's why it's talking about you lacking understanding of how deep this is, how deep hatred for your brother could be. And ain't no limit to what you'll do. And you destroy your own soul, man. Because you would give your soul to destroy your brother's household or try to destroy your brother. You'll give your soul to do it. Keep reading.
Verse 33. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away.
And then everybody gonna know they can't have a woman around you. That's the reproach you're gonna have. You're gonna have a name. Man, don't have your woman around him. He gonna have sex with your woman. Or don't, he's unbrotherly. You do what I'm saying? That brother is, he looking at your wife. He don't give a damn if you married. He wants your wife. He's looking all up and down. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no limits to what he would do, man. He is extremely unbrotherly. He a low down dirty dog, man. A snake. That's the dishonor and the reproach that you're going to get when you out here sleeping with other men's women. And they be proud of this in the Christian church. I'm telling you, Christian church is like the world. They in there committing adultery. And, it's like an everyday thing in there. I've seen it with my own eyes. How they don't mind sleeping with somebody else's woman. And then they be in church hooping and hollering every Sunday. The pastor in there sleeping with everybody woman. The deacon in there sleeping with everybody woman. Them whores on the motherboard. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's whores out there. All in the choir. Having orgies in the choir. You know what I'm saying? I ain't making this up, man. I know this to be true for a fact. They don't give a damn about that. And you know what why I'm talking about them right now? Because they have dishonor and reproach. It's known. Everybody knows it. They know in the Christian church they will sleep with your woman. That's known. The same way I just told you how, you're going to have a stigma on you that, man, don't be around this brother because he unrighteous, he unbrotherly, he'll sleep with your woman. Well, it's the same thing with the church. Everybody know that the pastor's in there having sex with everybody's woman. Everybody know this. We see it all the time. And the church members, why do the church members always take up for the pastor? Why? That's a question I'm asking. Even though they know that they having sex with every damn body, why do they always take up for them? Go ahead.
Because they seen themselves, so they don't think that it's wrong with what the pastor do. Like, because they hold him at a certain regard, it don't matter what he do.
Because they doing it too.
They doing it too. Yeah.
They doing it too. So who am I, how can I cast a stone? You know what I'm saying? That's why they always bring that up. He who has no sin cast the first stone. They always say that every time the pastor get caught sleeping with somebody, or he done got a 15-year-old pregnant, first thing they say, well, he without sin cast first stone. You know why they say that? Because they doing it too.
Right.
They agree with it. Guess what? That 15-year-old that the pastor got pregnant, they knew about it. They knew about it and didn't say nothing about it. Yeah. It's there every day. That's the reproach that they get. We talking about it and everybody out in the streets know about it. That's the reproach that they get. Keep reading.
Verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man.
Read that one more again.
For jealousy is the rage of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
When you out here sleeping with these men and women, man, just know rage and jealousy is a natural emotion. It's a natural emotion. And they even got something like what they call it when you kill a crime of passion. Y'all ever heard of that before? A A crime of passion. You never heard of that?
I feel like I have. I just can't remember.
Okay, so a crime of passion is what we talking about right now. I walk in the door and somebody got my wife, you know, in a compromised position, an uncompromised position. And I walk through the door and see it. And I go get my gun and boom, I kill him right there on the spot. I can actually take that to court and get mercy from the courts. Go ahead, sister.
Well, you can't actually go get you.
Well, I'm just saying, no, I ain't talking about leave. I'm talking about like if you in the room and my gun in the room, I can grab my gun and shoot him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kill him on the spot. Yeah.
Like you killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, hit him in the head with something. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just choke him out or something like that. I can get mercy from the court for that because they call it a crime of passion. Because he didn't have no business in my house.
Right.
You do what I'm saying? And he's committing another sin by sleeping with my woman. You do what I'm saying? Now, sleeping with my woman is not a crime. You do what I'm saying? It's not a crime, but it is a sin. So if I, kill him right there on the spot, the courts will show me mercy. All right. That's what this scripture talking about when it said he would not spare in the day of vengeance. You do what I'm saying? That was my day of vengeance, and I just choked him to death with my bare hand. And probably choked her too. Keep reading.
Verse 35. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts.
Yeah, he ain't gonna forget. He will not ever forget this. You do what I'm saying? That will always be on his mind, in a woman, even though you committed adultery, there's nothing you can do to get that trust back. You do what I'm saying? When he done caught you in a compromising position or something, nothing you can do to get that trust. That's why, it's not wise to go back to the woman because you're just going to remember that one day that y'all fussing and fighting or she's going to go, do something and you're going to assume that she's, being with somebody else. And it's just going to continue to be in your head and you're going to be thinking about it and you're just going to, eventually kill her. You know what I'm saying? So it's not wise for you to go back to it. All right. Drop that. Give me Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Matthew chapter 5, verse 27.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Mark got it. Verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery.
They said what?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
All right. So the scripture say you done heard of old times. So this talking about back in the law. This is talking about, the 10 commandments like we read from the jump. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's what it say. All right, keep reading.
But I say unto you, to whosoever looketh on a woman.
So what Christ finna talk about, he's finna push it a little further. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna push it. He's gonna make it a little harder. It's harder. He's gonna show you the spirit of the law. All right, keep reading. Start that part right there over again.
But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her.
So Christ said, man, if you even look at a woman and lust after her, all right, you lusting after this woman. All right, you see your partner woman. She look good. All right, she got the bumps and the humps everywhere that you like. And you looking at her like, man, I'll do such and such and such and such to her. All right, I'm trying to keep it, rated G in here.
Right.
All right. I do such and such and such and such to her. All right. So keep reading.
So then he
start 28 one more time.
Verse 28. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
All right. So you already committed adultery in your heart. All right. You already done looked at it and say, man, I'll do such and such and such and such to her. So what is you doing? Go ahead.
Commit adultery with her in your head. or lusting after her.
Right. So, I'm trying to think how I can put it without giving you the answer. Go ahead.
You premeditating.
Yes.
You premeditating the act.
Yes. That's exactly what you're gonna get a sister at. You planting that seed in your head, and you're gonna eventually act out on that seed, on that thought that you have. You planted that thought in your head, and eventually you're gonna act out on that thought. And that's why Christ said, man, you already committed adultery. You know what I'm saying? Because all you have to, only thing you haven't done is acted out on it. But in your mind, you're thinking of all the scenarios that you're going to do to her. You know what I'm saying? Thinking of all the positions and compromising positions that you're going to put in. All of that, you already committing adultery, man. And you thinking about doing this to another man's woman. You ain't thinking about doing this to, you know what I'm saying, to your, to your woman. Think about doing this to another man's woman. So that's committing adultery in your head. Christ was letting you know not to even think about, harming your brother. Don't even think about doing it. That's your brother. Remember, that's your brother's wife. Don't even think about doing it in your head, because once you think about it, you're going to act out on it. Or there is a possibility that you might act out on. I'm going to say it's not a definite that you will act out on, but there's a possibility that you will do it by just thinking about it. Was that keep reading?
Verse 39. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell.
All right, so this ain't talking literally about you just plucking out your eye. It's just telling you that you're going to have to get rid of those thoughts. If those thoughts, you're going to have to find a way to destroy, the thought of you, harming your brother, because it's going to lead to you getting killed. Keep reading.
Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For of thy member, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell.
All right, so he's just telling you, man, you're gonna have to, if the things that you think about, it's a possibility that you will act on. So what you have to do is, tackle the things that's causing you to believe, the way that you are believing, causing you to think the way that you are thinking. That's where you need to tackle that. Okay, why am I thinking about having sex with my brother woman? You do what I'm saying? Why am I thinking about that? So you need to tackle that. Get to the root issue of what's really going on. It could be you just don't like him. A lot of people do, have sex with other men and women simply because they either a hater or they just don't like him. And it goes for the woman too. She has sex with somebody else because she either hate her husband, you know what I'm saying, or she just, want to, destroy another brother and destroy the brotherhood between them. That goes on a lot, man. The spirit, that spirit right there. Just being unbrotherly and unsisterly, man, that spirit right there has destroyed the vast majority of our households. Just having that spirit. Keep reading.
Verse 31. It has been said.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, hold on. Yeah, keep reading.
Verse 31. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
Keep reading.
Verse 32.
So this is going into divorce, but it does have a adultery clause in it, because there could be a reason of divorce because, of adultery. All right, keep reading.
Verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery.
So if you put away your wife and she didn't, have sex with another man while she was with you, then and she go you can cause her to have commit adultery. You putting her away can cause her to commit adultery. All right, keep reading.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery.
Mm-hmm. And what Christ is saying is because Christ don't believe that there is a reason outside of outside of her having sex with somebody else that you should put her away. So she's still your woman, in the eyes of God. Moses gave you a provision that you can have a divorce, but in the sight of God, it's still he wanted you to be with that woman forever once you had sex with her. And that's what Christ is saying. All right, keep reading.
Verse 33. Again.
Is it 32?
Sorry. That was 32.
Oh, okay. So you can cause a woman to commit adultery, man, by you putting her away and she haven't had sex, with anybody else. So when she do go have sex with somebody, you causing her to commit adultery because you don't put her away. All right. Go to Mark chapter 10, verse 11. Mark chapter 10, verse 11.
Mark chapter 10, verse 11. Verse 11. And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
All right, so now it's getting deeper. It's just getting deeper into why he was saying this. All right, keep reading.
Verse 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
All right. So it's saying that, all right, verse 11. It said, and it said unto them, whoever shall put away his wife and marry another. So now you don't put away your wife, right? And you go and marry another woman. All right, keep reading. From right there.
So committed adultery against her.
So you committed adultery against her. All right, keep reading.
And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committed adultery.
All right, so Christ wants you not to put away your woman. That's why he said you're committing adultery. All right, because he don't want you to put away your woman at all. So if you don't put away your woman and go and marry another woman, then that means that you have what? Go ahead.
You said if you don't put away your marriage.
If you don't put away your woman,
You have two wives.
you got two wives. He wants you to keep both of them. That's, it's just getting deeper off in it. He wants you to have both wives, both of the women. But if you put one away, then you committing adultery. Because you have no business putting her away. And you're going to cause her to also do what? Go ahead.
Go out and commit adultery.
Go out and commit adultery. You do what I'm saying? He wants you to keep both of them. That's what Christ wants you to have. And if it says a woman so how can let's say if a woman shall put away her husband, how do a woman put away her husband? Go ahead.
She leave.
She leave. If she leave her husband, all right, and go have sex with another man, and be married to another man, then she's committing adultery also. When she go and have sex with somebody else after she left her husband. All right. This is something that's so popular. And, if this was being taught, in the churches and stuff like that, this could solve a whole lot of, it could keep a whole lot of families together. Because if a woman don't agree with what you say, or if she just, hot in the pants and just want to go have sex with somebody else, she can. And they not, condemning her in the church or nothing for doing that. She can go have sex with whoever she want to have sex with. Go ahead, sister.
Like now, sir, they'll tell them in church, if you got somebody at home who ain't doing you right stuff, you go home and out the house.
Put them out.
Like in other words, go home and go put your husband out.
Go put them out.
Go put them.
And then you go have sex with somebody else. Why ain't the church telling you that when you go have sex with somebody else, after you don't put your husband out the house, that you committing adultery? Why ain't they telling you that? That's a rhetorical question. Yeah. Why ain't they telling you that? Because they agree with it. They agree with it. Go put that nigga out the house and, go tell Tyrone to come on in. You know what I'm saying? Go get Tyrone. He already waiting anyway in the wings. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone already been hitting it. You know what I'm saying? He just waiting on the nigga to get out so he can move on in. And they don't tell you this in there. They gonna tell you to go call Tyrone. That's the truth of the matter. They gonna tell you to go call Tyrone. Even though the scriptures clearly say, if you go call Tyrone, you committing adultery. They don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. And that's something that needs to be said, man. Why ain't they telling you this? When Christ said it out of his mouth. Why ain't they telling you this? Because they agree with it. They can't tell you not to do it when they doing it. When it's so, everybody doing it. You don't like what he say? Hey, just put that nigga out and go get you another nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Why is you dealing with all that when that's your house? Or why is you dealing with all that when you got $100,000 job? Why is you messing? Why you ain't got to take nothing from this nigga right here? This nigga work at McDonald's. I mean, the rod ain't that good. You can get you some decent rod from a nigga who got $100,000 job like you. You don't need this nigga who, laying it down and working at McDonald's. Put that nigga out and go find you another brother. They teaching you this in the Christian church, man. That's just the truth of the matter. This is what they teach. All right, drop that, man. Give me John. Let's go, John. Give me a time check. John chapter 8, verse 1. The book of John.
John chapter 8, verse 5. It's like you say.
Verse 1.
John chapter 8, verse 1. Got it. Verse 1. Christ went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them.
Mm-hmm.
And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they said unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act.
Mm-hmm. So they don't call a woman, Pharisees don't call a woman in the very act. They call her, bent over by the temple or something. So they done grabbed her and took her to Christ, just to see what Christ is going to say about it. You know what I'm saying? They already know what they should do. What are they supposed to do? Kill her. Supposed to be stoned. You know what I'm saying? But they prolonged it. They're going to take her to Christ just so they can see what he going to say about it and see if he against the law of Moses. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Christ stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not.
So Christ said, okay, so they came to Christ and was like, okay, in the law, it said that we supposed to stone them. What say you? So Christ didn't say nothing. So what is Christ saying by him? By him saying nothing, what is he saying? By him saying nothing, what is he saying? They asked Christ, okay, in the law, Moses said we're supposed to stone her. What do you say about it? And Christ didn't say nothing. So what is he really saying? Go ahead, sister.
That he wasn't there and know what to do.
Huh?
Do what Moses said.
Get a sister hand. Get a sister hand. That's exactly what he's saying. By him not saying nothing, showing that he's not against the law. He wasn't against the law. Okay, Moses said that. Okay, stone. You know what I'm saying? She need to get stoned. All right, keep reading.
So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
So he didn't say don't stone her. He actually said stone her. Did he not? He said he would, without sin, you cast the first stone. So he didn't say not to stone her.
Right.
He just said if whichever one of y'all ain't got no sin, hit her in the head with that rock. Keep reading.
Verse 8. And again he stooped down.
And there's a reason why he said about Salaki. There's a reason why he said that also, because these are the religious leaders. These are the ones who, been taught to carry out the punishment of the law. All right. So he's letting them know that, okay, it goes back to what we were just talking about with the pastors in the Christian church. They're not able to go and tell somebody that they wrong for the things that they doing because they doing it also. They got so much sin on them that they can't even, can't even condemn sin no more. You know what I'm saying? The pastors know that Christ said that if you leave your man and go have sex with somebody else, you commit adultery. But they got so much sin on them. How can they sit and tell that woman that? That's why they're not telling them. That's why they're not telling nobody in the church. Because they got so much sin on them. Because all the person gonna say is what? Go ahead.
You're doing the same thing.
You ain't doing nothing no different. Him without sin, cast the first stone. That's what the person gonna tell the pastor if they come and try to tell them something. And guess what the pastor gonna say? What can I do? All right, I can't do nothing. You right. I'm filthy and disgusting just like you. Your pastor gonna say that. All right. Read the verse one more time.
Verse 7. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
Keep reading.
Verse 8. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Christ was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst.
So they couldn't do it, and they were standing in the midst. It was just they left, and then it wasn't nobody but Christ and the woman. All right, keep reading.
Verse 10. When Christ had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, no man, Lord. And Christ said unto her, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more.
And he told her to go and sin no more. You do what I'm saying? Guess what? Your pastor would have never said that. He would have never said that. He couldn't say it. And he never said. They never tell the parishioners at church to go and sin no more. They literally telling you to go call Tyrone. And if Tyrone don't act right, go call Jerome. And if Jerome don't act right, go call Leroy. And so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. They adding sin on top of sin on top of sin. They're not telling you to sin no more. They're telling you to continue to sin. That's what your pastor's saying. That's what deacon, Carl is saying. That sounds like a good deacon name, Deacon Carl. You know what I'm saying? That's a deacon name, Deacon Carl. That's what Deacon Carl talking about. You know what I'm saying? Drop it, man. Go to Romans chapter 13, verse 9.
Romans chapter 13, verse 9.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Romans 13:9.
verse 9. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. And if there be any commandment, it is briefly comprehended in the same, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
And that's what it's all about. That's what, thou shalt not commit adultery is all about. Loving your neighbor as yourself, man. All of the laws hang on loving your neighbor and loving the Most High. That's the reason why it's so important for you not to sleep with your partner's woman. Because, you don't want nobody sleeping with yours. How is you going to do something to somebody that you ain't able to accept? And these same dudes, man, these same rappers, right? They're going to make songs about sleeping with everybody's woman. But then when somebody sleep with their woman, man, they commit suicide. They ready to kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? Making diss records. All kind of stuff, man. Because they ain't, they can't take it. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. They can dish it out, but they cannot take it. So the scriptures is clear about why you shouldn't do it. Shouldn't do it because the Most High said don't do it, and you shouldn't do it because you don't want to harm your brother, your relationship with your brother. Love that neighbor, man. All the laws, all the commandments are built around that. Loving your neighbor, loving your brother, man. It's important. You committing adultery is a big deal to the Most High. I already read to you how, jealousy and rage, man, they go hand in hand. And they're not going to spare you in the day of judgment, man. When it's time for you to, be judged for that, your partner ain't gonna spare you, man. There's so many people dead right now in the grave, in the Greenwood Cemetery. That's what my grandma used to say. In Greenwood Cemetery. Because they want to sleep with somebody else's woman. Not for real. You know what I'm saying? In Greenwood Cemetery right now. That's where all the adulterers is at in Nashville. They in Greenwood Cemetery. That's just the truth. That's what they at. You know what I'm saying? Everyone that I know, that's what they at. You know what I'm saying? That's what they at. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened, man. So because you didn't want to love your neighbor like you love yourself. That's why they don't. And the Lord destroyed them, man. And He's gonna destroy every single body who breaks His commandments. But the law says you must die for that. Drop that, man. Go to James 2:8. The book of James, chapter 2, verse 8. You got it? The book of James is in the back. You got it?
James, what?
Chapter 2, verse 8.
James chapter 2, verse 8. Verse 8. If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well.
So that's a royal law. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's what they call a royal law. That's part of the 10 Commandments. All right. Love your neighbor as yourself, man. If you do that, man, you're doing good. You actually, well, keep reading.
But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
Mm-hmm. And if you commit sin, man, You're a transgressor of the law. All right. You do good if you're following the commandments. But if you break one of the commandments, man, you're a transgressor. So just because you think you following the law, you break one of them, man, you're a transgressor of the law. All right, keep reading.
Verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
You guilty of all, man. You know what I'm saying? When you break that loving your brother as you love yourself, that covers so much of the law. You dig what I'm saying? It covers so much of the law by just breaking that. You breaking half the damn law. Say, for instance, if it's 600 laws, you done broke 300 by not loving your brother. Keep reading.
Verse 11. For he that said, do not commit adultery, and also do not kill. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law.
You're a transgressor. So just because because somebody might come up and be like, look, I don't commit adultery. I don't do this. I don't do that. Or do you steal? Or have you started? Yeah, I did just steal something. Well, you are a transgressor of the law. Or you might be like, I don't do nothing, but I don't sleep with somebody. I sleep with somebody, a woman right now. Well, you a transgressor of the law. You are a transgressor of the law. The Lord gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? You don't look at one part of the law as being a small part of the law. It's like a brother asked me one time, I was telling him about the beard, how it's a law about not eating beard. No, I was telling him about pork. That's what we're talking about, pork. You think the Most High ain't gonna, kill me over the law, over that, over eating pork? That's the scripture he need to read right there. You eating pork ain't no different than you murdering somebody. Same thing. You're a transgressor of the law, either way it go. You looking at like breaking God's law is a small thing. Well, I'm just gonna break this small law. Hey, you might as well go kill somebody. It's the same thing. You breaking the law is the law is the law. No matter how you break it, you breaking the law. You're a transgressor of the law. When you break a small part of it. Or a big part. It's the same to the Most High. Punishments might be different. But a law breaker, still. Was that at the end of 11?
Come.
Okay, drop that. Go to Ecclesiastes and Apocrypha. Go to verse 22. Go to chapter 23 and verse 22. Yeah, being an adultery is a big thing. It's a big deal. So don't look at it as a small thing. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 22, verse 23, verse 22.
Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 22. I'll come up with that. Well, verse 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband.
All right. So this talking about a wife that leaves her husband. All right. Keep reading.
And bringeth in an heir by another.
And do what?
Bringeth in an heir by another.
Okay, what does that mean? She left her husband and brought her in an heir by another man. What does that mean?
She left her husband and got pregnant
by another man. Right. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 23. For first she had disobeyed the law of the Most High.
All right. So the first thing she done was she broke the law of the Most High, which was what? Go ahead. Thou shalt not commit adultery. All right. Keep reading.
And secondly, she had trespassed against her own husband.
How did she trespass against her husband? What'd she do? Go ahead. She committed adultery against her husband. Right. Keep reading.
And thirdly, same
thing. Keep reading.
And thirdly, she hath played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man.
And the third thing she did was not only did she commit adultery, then she went and got pregnant by another man. All right. That's like I don't know, too many men who can handle that. She's not even. That's not his woman no more. She done went and did that. She absolutely hated that man. You know what I'm saying? For her to even go do that. All right, keep reading.
Verse 24. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children.
Keep reading.
Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit.
All right, so the scripture says her children should not take root, and the branches should bring forth no fruit. So that it's like that's a punishment for her. You know what I'm saying? For her going out and doing that. The children won't be acknowledged in the heritage of that man. All right, keep reading.
It's like verse 26. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out.
Yeah, and it's always going to be remembered that she was a woman who left her husband and went and had sex with another man and got pregnant. All right, keep reading.
Verse 27. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Lord, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of the Lord.
And take heed of the commandments of the Lord. So that's the best thing that we have, man. If we have the commandments of the Most High, and we must take heed to these commandments. The Most High says, do not commit adultery. Do not go and have sex with another man's woman. All right, that is adultery. All right, and it's important that we don't do it, because when you do it, it's so many different ramifications. This is one of the ramifications that could possibly happen. When your woman going out and having sex with another man, with somebody outside of her husband, she possibly could get pregnant by that person. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High, going to punish her, because that's sin on top of sin on top of sin. Right? And that's something that need to be taught to our children, to the people and to our children, so we can stop this adultery, glorifying adultery, because that's what we do as a culture. We done turn it into a culture. Adultery is a culture now. It's not frowned upon whatsoever. It's celebrated. And that's something we got to stop, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got to come up against that Christian church, man, who is pushing adultery to the people. Because they're not condemning it. So if you're not condemning it, that means you're for it. Your silence means that you're for it. So, it's going to take us to actually come out and teach, the true meaning of adultery and how it's destroying our people, one household at a time, man. All right. Y'all got a question about anything? All right. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General YAHANNA. I'm Austin Aquam of the Nashville School, and that's my time. Shalom.